Well, guys, I think it's about time. I think it's time that once and for all, an intellectual steps into the circle here and ends a debate that I've been seeing all over the internet that, personally, I just cannot understand how this is even a debate in the first place. Sorry to ruin all the fun, but, at some point, somebody's got to do something. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for like the last week or two, I feel like everybody has heard of the now infamous 100 men versus one gorilla who's gonna win in a fight debate. And, at first, it was kind of funny. It was a joke. It was silly. Ha. I was in on it. And the more I saw of this debate on the internet, the more I was like, oh, okay, people need a hero. And I don't mean the 100 men when they're fighting the gorilla. I mean the people of the internet need somebody to kind of hold their hand, walk them through this little debate here because, people aren't seeing this realistically. Now, I'm not going to waste any time here, okay? I'm going to drop my thesis right off the bat. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that a gorilla is going to stand a chance against 100 men. Okay, some people are treating this hypothetical gorilla like he's fucking Thanos or something, like he's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but no, it's a gorilla versus 100 average men. Now, obviously, there's a bunch of different parameters that I've seen set on the internet, but I'm going to go with the one that I've been using in my head recently, which is, in this hypothetical fight, there is one average male silverback gorilla fighting 100 average human males. The setting is an empty high school gym. There are no weapons. All the men are naked. That's important. And the gym is completely empty except for the men and the gorilla. No weapons are allowed and it's a complete free-for-all. Okay, there are no rules. The gorilla's not going to play by rules, so neither do the humans. This is not going to be like 100 1v1s. This is going to be 100 versus 1 at the same time. Okay? Right off the bat, I don't know if there's a creature on the planet that could fight off 100 human males. Maybe I'm hyping up humans a little bit, but 100 people is a lot. And I believe if we had like a perfect simulation machine, we could run this 100 times and the gorilla would never win. Now, please allow me to explain myself, okay? Now look, obviously, the thing that people are getting hung up on is that gorillas are strong as shit. Okay? They're estimated to be like anywhere from 4 to 10 times the strength of a human, which, that's pretty strong. We're gonna go with 7 because that's a nice even middle number, which leaves us with the assumption that this gorilla in this hypothetical situation is about 7 times stronger than each individual man. And at first it seems like a really big disadvantage, and it's never not going to seem like a big disadvantage, but strength comes at a cost. If you're big into the bodybuilding scene, if you follow a lot of guys who are competing at a really high level, you would know that something like talking to a camera is something that gets them out of breath. F equals MA, okay? A silverback gorilla weighs about 400 pounds. That's a lot of mass to move around, which is really where our advantage is going to be. Humans are one of the best endurance athlete animals ever. I think some fucking exotic horses have us beat, but okay, cool, you can run. What else can a horse do? There are very few things on the planet that can go run for an hour on a treadmill. Humans are one of the few. A gorilla cannot. So endurance is on our side. Yes, gorillas are big, they're strong as fuck, they'll be picking up dudes and slamming them, but when you Google how strong is a gorilla and it tells you 1,800 pounds, I think a lot of people are imagining this gorilla being able to grab 3 dudes in each hand and just fucking cartoon smack them to the ground. That's not gonna happen. Those are maximum hypotheticals, and just like if you Googled how much can a human lift, you'd get numbers a little over 1,000 pounds based off our world record deadlifts. Those guys who are pulling those numbers can't lift that shit all day long. They can lift it once. I think a lot of people are Googling how strong is a gorilla, and they're like, oh, so a gorilla can just toss around 800 pounds like nothing all day long. No, that's just not happening. The gorilla is gonna get tired. Look, it's gonna manhandle a few dudes. Okay, it will. There's probably gonna be at least 50 major injuries. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet, and you know what? We respect those guys for their sacrifice, but it has to happen. See, me, I'm a pretty average sized guy, so I think I'd end up getting picked for this shit, which, shit happens. I'm gonna be the guy in the back, coaching people, kind of formulating, strategizing. I'm not touching the fucking monkey. And that's gonna be our strategy. We're gonna send groups of 15 to 20 guys at this gorilla. And the first 2 groups, they're making a sacrifice. Okay, they are. But once we get to that 3rd group, I'm sorry, but we're gonna start wearing down the gorilla, and you guys aren't gonna like how I say we're gonna do that, but we're going for the dick, balls, and the ass. Okay, by the 3rd group, I expect the gorilla's eyeballs to already be gouged out. If the first 2 groups can't manage that, we're fucked. But that's their goal. Get in there, get a thumb in, do your best. Yeah, he might bite your arm off, but would you rather be dead or have no arm? If by the 3rd group of 15 or 20, the gorilla still has eyeballs, I'm changing strategies. I'm probably going to be like, okay, guys, we need to talk to him. We've got to reason with him because he still has eyeballs. He's taken a rest because we don't want to touch him. He's going to have his endurance back. This is not going to work. But I have faith in the first 2 groups. His eyeballs are going to be gone. After that, this is my strategy. Based off of the interviews I've performed from each guy, I'm going to group everybody into groups of 3. And we've got 4 groups. We've got the limb groups, the dick groups, the ball groups, and the asshole groups. Okay, you probably know where this is going. Once the gorilla has no eyeballs, I'm sending in 7 groups at a time. 21 guys. Okay, so we only have like 3 shots at this. 3 guys on each limb. Okay, that's gonna be like 500 or 600 pounds on each limb. If they can get a good grip, like really wrap themselves around the arms and the legs of this gorilla, I think we can immobilize him. That's a lot of weight to move around after he's already slaughtered 30 people. He's gonna be tired. Then this is where, you know, we don't really want to talk about this. And I mean, this is really the uncomfortable conversation we've been kind of avoiding because at the end of the day, a gorilla is a beautiful living creature. It doesn't deserve this, but I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world, baby, and humans are on top. So 3 groups, 3 guys each, dick, balls, and ass. You know what we're doing. Their task is to rip off the genitals of this gorilla. He's not gonna like it, but you've got to play dirty. This is a gorilla. I can guarantee you he hasn't been playing clean with us. We've got to play dirty. It's a horrible, awful thing to imagine, but I mean, what else are you gonna do? It's a fucking gorilla. Now, like I said, we have 3 shots at that, and if all of that fails, that gorilla's a fucking dog. Now, personally, I'm pretty confident that by the second group of this newfound strategy, the gorilla's gonna be incapacitated. Okay, it's gonna be too tired to keep going, if not just dead, and we get to walk out with, I don't know, maybe like 40 people alive fully. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna have a man-to-man talk with the gorilla. Okay, I'm gonna have like a Coco moment. I'm gonna be like, dude, look around you. Bit of an overreaction. We don't want to be here. We didn't sign up for this. This was like a Hunger Games type of situation. They made us do this. And I mean, I think he's going to understand it because they're pretty smart. And I honestly think that through some sort of communication, me and my newfound friend can work out like a Katniss and Peeta type situation where we're like, look, neither of us are coming out of here. We're just going to sit here all day. And then the scientists that put us through this are going to be like, all right, you can leave. And then there's going to be a bunch of sequels, each one getting worse and worse as it progresses. But you know, that's another problem on its own. But honestly, I don't think the gorilla stands a chance. There's like gorilla and ape experts weighing in on this, and they're like, yeah, a lot of people are gonna die, but the gorilla's gonna die in the end. I mean, besides like maybe like an elephant, maybe a blue whale, you know, in the right environment, I don't think that anything can survive 100 people. I've seen like some simulations on the internet. You've probably seen the one I'm talking about. It's like a void-like area and the gorilla and all the men are gray. Yeah, that's not very realistic. We're humans. We organize. We think. We're gonna attack the gorilla in groups. We're not just gonna go at it like crazy. We might at first. Like, let's be honest with ourselves, guys. 100 average men, one of them is gonna think he can take the gorilla by himself. And that's really gonna be where we gauge this particular gorilla's, like, dog factor. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a gamble, but there is a chance that the gorilla that these scientists chose is just not really a fighter. You know, it just doesn't really have a violent bone in its body, and that guy walks up to him and is able to beat the shit out of it. Unlikely. But yeah, I think that one dude who's gonna be like, yeah, I could fucking kill anything, is really gonna be kind of what we use for our initial strategy. So, you know, I don't think a lot of people are considering that. Again, that's why I'm in the back, like, planning all this shit out. Again, gonna go on record, I'm not touching the gorilla. But yeah, through sheer numbers and exhaustion and fear, there's just no way the gorilla stands a chance. It's not happening. I'm sorry if you're Team Gorilla. You're wrong. The gorilla is not a mythical creature. It is of Earth. You know, it's like a predator situation. If it bleeds, we can kill it. I think a lot of people are overestimating, like, the bravery of a gorilla. Granted, we don't have weapons, but you guys have got to recognize that we used to, like, drive shit to extinction with just sticks. Very, very crude tools and far, 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 far smaller groups than 100. 100 people is a lot of fucking people. Like, animals don't know everything we know, believe it or not. A silverback gorilla standing up is 5 foot. Average height is like what, 5'9", 5'10"? Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just googled the average height and weight of men worldwide. It's 5'7", 143, which a lot smaller than I was thinking in my head. I was thinking United States, so, you know, more like 5'10", like 330. I'm not as confident anymore, but I still think we can do it. Just want to make it known that I'm slightly less sure than I was in the beginning, but I'm still pretty fucking sure. Anyways, like I was saying, a gorilla's 5 foot tall standing up. If it's average men, every single person in that room is gonna be looming over that gorilla. And yeah, the gorilla's gonna be able to tell, like, one-on-one that he's got the man beat. but it's gonna be looking up at everything. There's 100 of them. The gorilla is gonna be shitting itself. I mean, seriously, think of what would be like the equivalent of that. It's gonna be hard to think of anything that's like perfect or like genuinely equivalent, like in a real world example. I feel like a fair comparison of man to gorilla is probably something like, I don't know, the average 7 or 8 year old versus a grown man. Okay, so I Googled it and I did some really rough math, and it looks like the average man is gonna be about 7 times stronger than a 6-year-old boy. In this scenario, we've got to give the 6-year-olds like adult intelligence for this to be fair. Do you think an average man, a 5'7.5", 143-pound man, could ward off 100 6-year-olds with adult intelligence who want to kill him? No fucking shot. And I feel like that's a pretty fair equivalent. I'm sorry to say it, but the gorilla just stands no chance. However, I will disagree with one thing that I've been seeing a lot of from Team Man, and it's people making these lists saying that they don't need 100 men, they just need 10 men, and it's just like 5 UFC fighters and then a few professional wrestlers. Like, okay, let's not be silly, guys. John Jones, yeah, he's a fucking dog. Gorilla's swiping him once he's dead. Like, that's where you get kind of silly. Yes, John Jones is one of the best mixed martial artists alive right now, but he is still just a man. Gorillas have canines that are this big. They're not going to be susceptible to any sort of hold or submission. 10 guys, no matter how badass they are, could simply just not wear down the gorilla enough for their skills to be used. They're not going to be able to do anything in time. Realistically, to guarantee success, I think you're looking at like 40, 50 men minimum. Obviously, I think it could be done with less, but to guarantee it, I think you're looking at like bare minimum 45. Some people are going to say that's crazy. I don't think it is. I think people are making gorillas out to be these like fucking superheroes, these like mythical creatures. They're just not that guy. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Based off the poll I ran the other day, about half of you are going to agree with me and the other half are going to call me stupid. I'm used to that though. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if you are Team Gorilla, then you're objectively wrong. Even the experts agree. Trust me, you don't want to go down in history as being on Team Gorilla, because once they inevitably do this, because we're going to need to see it, you're going to be proven wrong. Don't say I didn't warn you. All right? See ya.